This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 9th day of August in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, this morning disallowed an opposition request to move a motion to discuss citizens who are unvaccinated against COVID-19 being denied access to government services. The opposition leader, Joe Harmon, wanted to raise the issue as a matter of urgent public importance. The Speaker said it was not an urgent matter. During his brief statement to the House, the opposition leader said the new gazetted measures have been impacting a significant section of the population, particularly citizens who are not vaccinated.
Those measures, Mr. Speaker, severely hamper the ability of the people of Guyana to access public and government services.
The opposition leader said government agencies and organizations have taken it upon themselves to impose additional measures on the Guyanese people beyond the orders that have been gazetted.
So, Mr. Speaker, while the order itself is very tight, what has happened is that these ministries and other agencies have actually enlarged upon it. They've taken upon themselves the power to enlarge on it, and it is causing a serious problem to Guyanese people.
The government order has seen some government agencies sending unvaccinated staff members home, while the public hospitals have locked their gates on persons who are unvaccinated, including staff members. The Georgetown Public Hospital last week said only unvaccinated emergency cases will be allowed entry.
Mr. Speaker, this matter is urgent, and as acting on the compliance with the order, citizens are now being locked out from their places of employment.
While the government continues to say its vaccination program is not mandatory, the latest order is forcing persons to get vaccinated if they want to conduct business with the government or visit any government ministry or agency. In other parts of the Caribbean, mandatory vaccination has triggered widespread protests. In the past week, protests have erupted in St. Vincent, Antigua, and Barbados over the issue. More news coming up in just a moment.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together we rise.
Get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life.
A message from Republic Bank.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100. Jungle Jam, Jungle Jam, Jungle Jam. Finance many as you can. Jungle Jam, Jungle Jam. The animals are waiting. Monkeys, giraffes, dinosaurs. Real excitement in a chocolate bar. Elephant, toucan, jaguar. Which ones will you find? Young in the Jungle Jam, Jungle Jam. Finance many as you can. Jungle Jam, Jungle Jam. Which ones will you find?
I'm in a rush. Digicel got me in a rush. Driving style for the summer. Digicel Summer Rush.
Nobody's doing it big like Digicel this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more and collect the letters to spell the word RUSH for a chance to win one of 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs. Yes, you heard it right. 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs.
Drive in style for the summer. Hey, Digicel Summer Rush.
Start topping up now.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL.
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Turn up the whole place. This is not that have a smile on everyone's face. Ole, got the flavor lock. Ole's got it, yes, this is fun favorite snack. Ole, turn up the flavor now. Ole, turn up the taste, that's good so wow. Ole's got it anyhow. Ole, turn up the flavor now. Sunshine snacks, Ole, turn up the flavor.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. Several unvaccinated Guyanese nationals who are returning home from vacation in the US and other places are being denied boarding on flights to Guyana. Some local travel agencies have been bombarded with complaints from their Guyanese customers after they were told that they could not board their flights home because they are unvaccinated. While the Minister of Public Works, Bishop Juan Edgel, had initially explained that a vaccination requirement was targeting foreigners, and the gazetted order, which went into effect yesterday, also makes reference to foreign passengers, the airlines have been told that all Guyana-bound passengers must be vaccinated. Edgel had claimed that unvaccinated Guyanese nationals with a negative COVID-19 PCR test result would be allowed to come home, but would be required to get vaccinated upon arrival. It appears as though that plan has been thrown out completely, and now all incoming passengers are required to show proof of receiving at least one dose of one of the COVID-19 vaccines, along with a negative PCR COVID-19 test. A check at the Chedijagan airport also revealed today no system being in place for vaccinations upon arrival. Under the recently issued order, airlines could find themselves facing charges if they allow passengers who are unvaccinated to board their Guyana-bound flights. Some travel agents have complained that the order, which was issued on Saturday and went into effect on Sunday, did not take those Guyanese returning home from their vacation into account. Some passengers who turned up at the JFK airport in New York were told that they should get at least one shot of a COVID-19 vaccine to be allowed to board the flight home to Guyana. The COVID-19 vaccines being offered in the US, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, are not being offered in Guyana presently. Both Moderna and Pfizer are two-shot vaccines that have to be taken weeks apart. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a one-shot vaccine. If Guyanese visitors to the US were to take the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, it means they will have to remain there for their second dose or return for that second dose. Their best option might be to take the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. An airline official told news source that while the government has spoken publicly about the requirement being in place for foreign travelers to Guyana, the airlines have been told that all passengers must be vaccinated. Even as the government faces pushback for its much-touted gas-to-shore project, the administration is moving full speed ahead with the project, which it has dubbed the single most important project to this country's development. During his contribution to the Petroleum Exploration and Production Amendment Bill in the National Assembly today, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat said the project will bring many benefits to Guyanese. He said the cost of power generation remains a problem in Guyana and is the biggest hindrance to development. Bharat said Guyana is producing energy at a relatively high cost, and the gas-to-shore project will see the cost to produce energy being slashed by 50%, allowing Guyanese to pay cheaper for electricity.
Mr. Speaker, besides from reduction in energy costs and in our light bills, as we commonly say, the gas-to-energy project will reduce the power outages that we have been experiencing over a number of years.
The Natural Resources Minister also said it is important that the project is realized in the shortest possible time. He asked for the opposition's full support on the project. But while the government maintains that its project is beneficial to Guyanese, opposition member of Parliament Sherwin Holder said the gas-to-shore project is shrouded in secrecy and reeks of corruption. He called for more transparency. The Finance Minister, Dr. Ashni Singh, said the opposition's support for the bill will be crucial and it will demonstrate the political will to develop the country from all sides. Some good news for importers and consumers tonight. President Irfan Ali has given instructions for more reliefs to be granted to cushion the effects that Guyanese are facing in the marketplace because of increased international shipping and freight costs. The new measures, which will be enforced by the Guyana Revenue Authority, will see import charges being reduced to the pre-pandemic level in the calculation of the customs duties, excise taxes, and input value-added tax on imported goods. New source understands that the relevant aspects of the Customs and Value-Added Tax Acts will be amended to reflect the concessions. The measure is expected to allow savings of up to $4.8 billion to the consumer and business community over a 6-month period. Government agencies will be tasked to ensure the savings are passed on to the consumer and not pocketed by importers. The concession will take effect on invoices carrying dates from the 1st of August 2021, and it will remain in place until the end of January next year. The move is expected to see a decline in the prices of imported goods. In the past months, importers have blamed the increase in various prices on shipping costs. Duties, excise tax, and VAT are calculated using the cost, insurance, and freight of the imports. Let's tell you now that Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, through his attorney Nigel Hughes, today withdrew his application to the court, which was seeking to block his dismissal from the Elections Commission. Justice Joanne Barlow was expected to hand down her decision in the matter this morning, but Lowenfield's attorney Nigel Hughes informed the court that his client no longer wished to pursue the matter, and therefore he was withdrawing the case. The withdrawal comes the week after GCOM's attorney Kim Kite informed the court that there had been an amendment to the motion that was presented to the Elections Commission, seeking Lowenfield's dismissal. The PP Civic Government nominated members of the Elections Commission recently amended their motion for the dismissal of Lowenfield. Instead of seeking his summary dismissal, they now want his dismissal in keeping with the terms of his contract. The amendment to the motion before the Commission was made after Lowenfield moved to the courts. The Chief Elections Officer, through his attorney, raised issues regarding a fair hearing in his court matter, since some of the members of the Commission who are expected to decide on his future with the Commission have already made public their statements against him. The government-nominated commissioners are pushing for the removal of the Chief Elections Officer, his deputy, and the returning officer for Region 4. The three who are already before the court facing misconduct in public office and other charges have been singled out for removal over a number of matters related to last year's elections and accusations of fraud. Two serving members of the Guyana Defense Force have been arrested as part of last week's gold heist and robbery at the Kitty Gold Trader. The two, a husband and wife, were taken into custody on Saturday night. The Guyana Police Force has confirmed that $18 million in cash was found buried in the backyard of one of the suspects. Investigators moved in on the home of one of the suspects on the east bank of Essequibo after receiving information, and they carried out a search. The search led them to the backyard where the money was found in a buried bucket. A police statement said the investigations are ongoing and a number of persons remain in custody. At least 4 persons are expected to appear in court tomorrow to face robbery charges. The Thursday morning robbery was carried out by 3 men who approached the Wallison Gold Trading Company in Gordon Street, Kitty, pretending to be miners who wanted to sell their gold. They held the staff members at gunpoint and made off with over $20 million worth of raw gold and more than $30 million in cash. A security guard attached to the company was one of the first persons arrested. Still with police matters, 1 week after the gunning down of Campbellville mechanic 21-year-old Jalil Liao, the Guyana Police Force today issued a wanted bulletin for the man identified as his killer. 38-year-old John Kennedy, also known as Big John, is wanted for the murder of the youth. A police statement said Kennedy's last known address is 751 Field 8, Section B in Sophia. Anyone knowing his whereabouts is being asked to contact the nearest police station or call 911. Liao was in the company of a group of friends in Sophia last Monday evening when they were approached by 2 men on bicycles. Eyewitnesses said as Liao walked towards a yard, he was shot to the back by the man identified as Big John. The eyewitnesses said even after he collapsed, the assailant stood over him and fired additional shots. A post-mortem report found that the youth was shot 3 times to his body, with 2 of the bullets making an exit. One of the dead youth's friends was also injured in the attack. A relative of the now wanted man is currently behind bars, awaiting trial for a murder that was witnessed by Liao and a friend who was injured. Investigators suspect that the shooting is linked to the 2 youths being witnesses in that murder case. And the Guyana Police Force has also issued a wanted bulletin for a 7th suspect in the murder of that visiting Guyanese man who was found murdered at his Berbice home on Tuesday night. Wanted is 32-year-old Jason Isaacs of East Kanji, Berbice. According to the police, Isaacs is of mixed race. Anyone knowing his whereabouts is asked to contact the nearest police station or call 911. The 6 other suspects, including 2 women, remain in police custody as the investigations into the murder continue. The 60-year-old man, Hemraj Pardasi, who returned to Guyana recently to rebuild his home, was found dead with duct tape around his neck last Tuesday night. A post-mortem examination found that he was strangled to death. There were other marks of violence on his body that point to him also being beaten. The elderly man was last seen alive by relatives on Tuesday in the company of another man. On the same day, he also visited a commercial bank to withdraw a large sum of money.
Don't get caught short. Review your insured values at least every 2 to 3 years. The amount your property is insured for should always reflect the present cost to rebuild if it were to be completely destroyed.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together, we rise.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, former Antiguan Prime Minister Sir Lester Bird has passed away. He was 83 years old. The Antigua Observer this morning reported that a release from the office of the Prime Minister indicated a sad event, which took place early this morning. The newspaper noted that while details are still coming to hand, Sir Lester had a long battle with health complications. It said the administration also indicated the acting Prime Minister, in consultation with the Prime Minister Gaston Brown, has ordered that all flags be flown at half-mast beginning immediately, and that planning commence for a state funeral at an agreed-upon date. Sir Lester Bird was also a national hero of Antigua and Barbuda. The BBC reports that Cuba's communist government has legalized small and medium-sized private businesses in the wake of mass anti-government protests last month. Under the new rules, enterprises with up to 100 employees will be allowed. President Miguel Diaz-Canel said Cuba was taking firm steps to update its economic model. Critics say the government's plans have been accelerated because of July's protests, when thousands turned out to complain of economic ruin. Demonstrators condemned the handling of the coronavirus pandemic and demanded political change. Dozens were arrested nationwide, and at least one man died in the unrest. Friday's decision is seen as a major shift in the government policy on the island, where state-run companies are the norm. The protests came amid a severe economic crisis. And finally tonight, international news. Human activity is changing the climate in an unprecedented and sometimes irreversible way, a major UN scientific report has said. The landmark study warns of increasingly extreme heat waves, droughts, and flooding, and the key temperature limit being broken in just over a decade. The report is a code red for humanity, says the UN chief. But scientists say a catastrophe can be avoided if the world acts fast. There is hope that deep cuts in emissions of greenhouse gases could stabilize rising temperatures. Echoing the scientists' findings, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said if they combine forces now, they all can avert climate catastrophe. But as today's report makes clear, there is no time for delay and no room for excuses, the Secretary General said. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.